everything football.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Sasha.
Hey, and this is Roman. Welcome back to another episode of the Footy Brews. Today we're having a follow-up conversation about Mourinho. So if you haven't seen our last video about Mourinho when he got sacked from Spurs, go check that one out. It was really interesting hearing from your feedback. Was definitely in the comments checking that out. But yeah, no, big news. Mourinho, if you don't know, is now going to be the AC Roma manager for the next season. What a move that is, eh, Stash?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't waste any time going from dropping off, getting fired from Spurs, and it seemed like a week later he had been hired by AC Roma.
That's right. I saw a thing where he just posted his resume on Instagram, and 1 week later he got a job. So it pays to be successful in the past. But speaking of Mourinho, really quickly, he hasn't really done much in the last 10 years. If you look, from 2002 to 2010, he was extremely successful, by far the most successful period in his life, winning Champions League trophies with multiple teams. And then after 2010, he came back to Chelsea. He had one good season pretty much, and then went through Manchester United, not much. Spurs got sacked. So some people are saying this might be his last chance in AC Roma. Like, what does that make you think, Sash?
I think 100% this is his last chance to kind of show that his legacy isn't over. We have no doubt that Mourinho in his beginning stage of Porto, then Chelsea and Real Madrid and Inter Milan, that those were his golden years. And we know that the Italian league suits his style of play, but this is kind of his last chance to kind of cement himself as still that good coach, because Spurs 2 seasons, getting knocked out of the Europa, putting them away from the contention of the Champions League spot. These are bad things on a CV as a coach. And this is why I believe AC Roma isn't a team of the top tiers teams we know. They're kind of that second degree, still in the Europa, fighting for the Europa. They're not the Champions League, haven't been in the last, I don't know, like 5 to 6 years. So a lot of things at stake for him.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of an Everton, Ancelotti kind of situation with a great coach and a good team, but not in contention for the title at the moment, kind of thing. Ancelotti has the tools to start making Everton enter that discussion, beating West Ham in the weekend. That was a big win for them, and it looks like things are going well for him. So hopefully Mourinho can do a similar thing with Roma and really push them into contention for these Champions League spots, and even who knows, winning a Scudetto.
No, exactly. And I feel like I know why he got hired, because the general manager Tiago Pinto is a Portuguese admirer of the fellow Portuguese manager, and Fonseca, who is the current coach of AC Roma that's going to be stepping down from Mourinho, is also a Portuguese coach. So you can kind of see that maybe that helped him to get this position. But I guess we could touch on the base that what we believe. Do you think he will succeed? What does he need to do to succeed, in your overall opinion?
That's a good question, Sash. I think he has to reinvent himself, and just on the basis that Serie A has been traditionally a more defensive league. Well, you know what? Serie A is also reinventing itself, and Atalanta this season has been incredible and very profitable on their new attacking style. They're currently second in Serie A, and with an attacking style, it's so nice to see freshness in Serie A. That's because that was stale over the years. Everyone was defending, like it became a boring league, right? It became a farmers league, some might have called it. So now it seems that it's evolving, and in my opinion, if Mourinho wants to succeed, he's also going to have to evolve with the times.
100% agree. And I'm hoping that he comes out and he kind of shows the world that the Mourinho we all loved, and that exciting coach, because if anything, we've seen him in Inter Milan and what he did for that team. I mean, winning the treble, and that's one of the most things that significant put him cemented in the legacy of great coaches, winning 2 Champions Leagues with 2 different teams. So not many coaches have done that. So what showed him to why he was great in Italy. So I believe that he will succeed based on his playing style, that if he doesn't change it, it's not the end of the world. We saw what Conte did for Inter Milan, showing that defensive side of Inter Milan. And look, now they won their Scudetto the first time in 10 years. So I believe he has a team that can still attract big players, because Roma is not a small team by any chance. And you know what? They can still get those players that will be like, the Mourinho's there. AC Roma is a legacy type of legendary club that we've known for over the history. You know what? I'll come to AC Roma. So I believe that he actually will succeed. And what he needs to do is, like you said, he needs to adapt himself. He needs to still follow his philosophies of how he does his style, but maybe win the dressing room this time. And
and that's where I think, I don't know if he's gonna succeed. I mean, maybe he doesn't have as many big egos, and that'll contribute, because there isn't that many big players. But at the same time, I think that's less tools for him to use in AC Roma. He had the likes of Kane and Son and the Spurs, and they're superstars in that team. And what's really good about them is they don't have big egos compared to like Mbappe and Neymar, right, in PSG. And I think that creates a lot of conflicts in some teams, but AC Roma doesn't have these kinds of players. So it'll be interesting to see what he does with this team, if the board gives him money for transfers for new players, and see where he's taking it. But if you're Mourinho, what's your strategy coming into this transfer market?
If I'm coming into this transfer market, I believe I've been seeing a lot of reports that he's trying to attract some Portuguese stars. So classic Mourinho, he loves these Portuguese players. So I heard he might be trying to attract Renato Sanchez. He's going to have to do a lot of rebuilding in that squad. And by all means, that is not a squad that is weak right now. They have some great players. I think that Mourinho definitely has some ideas of what he wants to do to change the team. So some big transfers will have to come his way. I know he's going to the board, selling them his transfer demands, and hopefully, they listen and kind of take into account of what he wants. Because if anything, we've known about some feedback we've gotten with the last episode of Footy Brews from Mourinho, that a lot of people believe that he didn't actually have that funding and the backing from the board of the club. So if he gets maybe that funding and that trust, maybe he will succeed. And that's why I think the key element, it's not about what players will come. I think is if he will get the players that he actually wants on that team.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. But only time will tell. We're super excited, like you guys are, to see the future of Mourinho, and we're going to be all over that next season, bringing you guys the most updated news. But for now, it's been a pleasure, Sash, and Footy Brews out.
Footy Brews out.